Scotland as a hellscape because of consistent 25-degree weather.
Well, yeah, since Scotland is like so like normally like rainy, when there's no actual rain and the sun's out, then it is by comparison a hellscape.
Another cutscene.
Look at that! Look at that cute picture of Arrow.
We have horns now.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't show up in like anywhere else. But after doing that side quest in the last episode, we have a mount in the overworld.
That's good.
Look at that.
Oh, we just automatically have it, huh?
You can go faster.
Jeez, I thought we were gonna have to like track one down, kind of like the chocobos in Final Fantasy VII.
Nah, that'd be too much work for this game.
They're just like, nah, you just have it now.
Alright, I'm not complaining.
God, no, it's again like doesn't waste your time.
No, this game is like, it, like I said, of decent length, and it ends well, I'd say, and it didn't really need to be any longer.
It's pretty consistently moving forward.
Yeah, like I don't really mind how long a game, is, like whatever, but the pacing needs to, be there.
Yeah.
And like, Persona still has that problem with it. Prologue is so long and like really intimidating for newcomers to the series.
5 at least had the decency to make interesting things happen at the start of the game.
I guess.
Because like the opening, like I absolutely adore Persona 4, but like the opening of that game is so slow.
Yeah, there's like nothing happening.
We got thieves.
You get introduced to characters, and it just slowly trickles down.
Yeah. The
supernatural stuff.
Yeah, like Persona 5 opens more like. Well, yeah, I would say that Persona 5 opens closer to how 3 does than 4, but 5 makes it even more like has actual action happening like right at the start, where 3 is like, oh, there's all this creepy spooky stuff, and then suddenly shadows like an hour in, which is still a lot faster than 4.
And in like 4, like the first time you sleep, you get a sort of tutorial on the battle controls.
Yeah.
And you don't actually fight a real battle like an hour later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even then, the first battle you fight, it's like another sort of tutorial. And then you get one fight after that, which is a boss fight. And then after that, it's like another hour to actually get to the real dungeon crawling.
Yeah. Yeah, Persona 4 is a very slow game.
I don't know if I've said this before, but I prefer P3 to P4, like, definitely.
I would say that I like Persona 4 more. For a couple of reasons, but I would hesitate to say that it is like expressly a better game than 3. It's just like I don't like Tartarus as much as I do the dungeons in 4, and I like the characters in 4 more than I do most of the characters in 3.
Yeah, it is, of course, subjective, because I like the characters in 3 more than 4. Like, some characters, well, It depends, like, if you count the side characters. And, like, do you count the social links as well? It's hard to determine.
Yeah,
there's a lot of factors.
If we're counting social links outside of the party members, I would say 5 has my favorite cast of characters. If we're just counting party members, I would say 4 is my favorite. Just because, like, man, Chie though.
Well, I know that aspect, but
no,
I prefer the main cast of 3 because Fuka though, like, and Aigis and like the girl protagonist, like, come on.
I don't know.
3 for 3.
Just like a lot of the characters in Persona 3, like, you know, I don't dislike them or anything, but they just haven't stuck out to me in the same way that the characters in 4 did.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I still think Yosuke's like the best in the series.
Yeah.
Because like he's a piece of shit. he is not a good person. But he still sticks around and pretends that he's your bro.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. I'm surprised they like never addressed that. Like, that's the weird thing with P4's plot. Is like once her character arc gets resolved, it, like, well, you know, maybe aside from like Kanji's or Nato's, it's like the flaws of the character is like ignored for the rest of the game.
Well, it's because it's defeated in the form of the shadow, so it doesn't exist anymore.
They're a better person now. So with your own eyes, Yosuke is still, you know, his shittiness is completely gone now, of course.
Well, I mean, his shittiness is mostly born from the fact that he's just like super insecure anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that he could, you know, work on over time.
It only ever like occurred once that it sort of came back, and that's like really late into the game.
Yeah.
But you know, I like the character arc progression in 3 more because it's it sort of develops throughout the story rather than, you know, one after another like 4.
Yeah.
And I like how the character arcs intermingle with each other in 3. And 4 didn't really have that.
Yeah.
Because, like, Akihiko, Shinjiro, and Ken's is, like, all directly related. Whereas, like, Chie's, it's, like, kind of nothing to do with the main plot.
Oh, have we finally found the actual, like, the mountain we were supposed to go to? We're reaching the settlement of the Arok people. I like their design because it's like, it's not explicitly bird-like, but you can still tell, you know, it's bird people, and like you can't see their beaks, and their feathers are a bit hard to distinguish. I mean, their heads are just kind of shaped like beaks.
Yeah, it's cool. So definitely their living conditions are worse than the humans.
The goblets are related to the mimics.
Yeah, I'm sure they're like same, like different sub races, but same race or something.
I thought they looked too similar to not be like related.
Right. No, it's like
and there's just one chilling out in here. All right.
Yeah, they're looting apparently. So obviously, like, just scavengers. But will we eventually find out that this race is not entirely comprised of scavengers and bandits? We'll see.
No.
That's always weird, like, when a fantasy race, it's like every single member of the race, it's like not civilized.
Yeah, right.
Unless they're like birthed from the dirt like the orcs in Lord of the Rings. You know, that's fine. You know, they never really had a civilization.
Well, I mean, how fine that is kind of debatable, considering Tolkien's politics. But you know, within the if you're just looking at the context of the Lord of the Rings itself, it's more or less fine.
I'm not really much of a reader.
Well,
so,
yeah.
I haven't even. I just watched the movies, dude. Like.
Yeah. The thing about like the orcs in Middle Earth is that they have a lot of unfortunate parallels to, you know, racist ideas.
Right.
Which can kind of be put down to just like the time in which Tolkien was writing.
If that is the case, it went completely over my head.
It's not really hugely translated over into the movies, so there is also that. Yeah, it's just kind of
I do
unfortunate.
I do like it when you get a specific character that's unlike the rest of the race they're part of.
Well, that's not to hammer on Final Fantasy 12 so much, but like one of the kind of big boss fights you have in that game is against a group of kind of Banga bandits, basically. And the thing is, like,
which are the Banga?
They're they're like the reptilian guys.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, most of the in every single town in the game, basically, you see tons of those guys just hanging out, just being normal guys.
That's weird because it's normally the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like anti-subversion.
Well, yeah, I think the level of like kind of normalized sentient species in 12 is really good, actually, because you see them, you see the non-human species everywhere. Like, there are even just Moogles everywhere. So it's, yeah, they don't have any species that's like, oh, this entire species is all just bad and they all hate humans and want to murder all of us. It's like, nah.
The pig men are all bad guys.
Yeah, there isn't.
The reptiles are all bandits.
There isn't any of that in Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, all the bird people are graceful and are tolerant of all other races. There isn't a single bad one.
Yeah. It's a nice change of pace because so many fantasy worlds do that kind of thing.
I guess it's because it's easy.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That must be it.
Well, because, like,
I'm sure that's the explanation of a lot of bad things happening. It's like, well, I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, like, you need an enemy, so you design a non-human, race to make as kind of a central enemy, and then all of a sudden, oh no, none of the people in this race that I've made are not enemies. Uh-oh.
How is the audience supposed to know who's bad and who's good, depending on which race there are?
Make them non-human.
Yeah. They're not human, therefore
they're bad. Ugh.
It's impossible to sympathize with them.
Ugh. Yeah, and there are just a lot of unfortunate implications in that sort of design as well.
Yeah, even if they're not like on purpose, it's like, come on.
Yeah,
just think about it. like for once.
That's the whole thing too. Is like, it's not it's more insidious because you're not actively thinking about it, which happens so often too. Like
it might fly over the audience's head. You know what tends to happen with me.
Yeah.
Because like I don't really actively think about that.
Yeah.
Like ever. So, I tend to not notice those things.
Yeah.
But if I do, that's when you know it's bad. Because like I don't like, it's just there. I don't. Yeah. I just know. I can just sense it.
Yeah, it's, and that's why like. That's the sort of thing that people like mean when they talk about, you know, systemic kind of casual racist ideas and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
That sort of thing is it doesn't, you know, apply specifically to video games, but it can transfer over to video games in the same sort of way. Anyway.
Yeah. Judge me by my work.
Emotions. So what is this guy telling us? He's talking about an apocrypha of some sort.
It's Sarah, the same bird person. He's basically flying away. Well,
he told us something about an apocrypha, and I missed it.
He flew to the actual
mountain,
like real settlement of the bird people.
Right.
Because that wasn't it. That was like an offshoot village.
Giant chains.
Giant ass chains.
Oh no! It broke. I guess we're not getting up that way.
Yeah, the red soldiers are screwing with it.
Oh. So we need to stop them, right?
Of course. We don't want that to happen. Also, I like this. The level are the chains themselves. They're so big you can platform on them.
I really wish so there's a very infamous well, maybe just famous, but opening cutscene for a Sonic game.
Those tend to be infamous.
Well, it's for Sonic CD. They had an actual like animated opening sequence to accompany the song Sonic Boom, which is the only context in which the phrase Sonic Boom is acceptable when referring to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Because that song's actually pretty good.
No, the TV show is good as well.
But, yeah, the point of this story is that at the end of the animation, Sonic is running his way up to the little planet that makes up the setting for the game Sonic CD, and he's running his way there along a line of chains like this. And I always wished that we actually got to like run along the chains in the game itself.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it would have made for a really cool like kind of sequence, I think.
No, only loop-de-loops for you.
Yeah. Giant chains have. I think maybe actually partially because of Sonic CD, like giant chains holding things have always been kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, because like what's the implication? Or why are they what are they being used for?
Yeah. Why are they so big?
Yeah, do they have to be?
How does it work?
I think the context here is, well, we saw the castle float in the sky, so I think this is literally holding the mountain in place. So we don't, and this is the home of the Arok. So if this mountain goes down, it's gonna be bad news for them.
So they can all fly, right?
Yeah, I assume at least the majority of them can. But you know, they've set up shop here. They don't want to. They don't want to give up.
Well, that's why they're on the flying mountain, of course.
Yes.
What
Normally,
is,
where other races can't reach them.
what is
But
that thing?
with the introduction of airships, that's not the case.
Oh, we got a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a baby one. All right.
Baby.
It's called a runt.
Well, runts don't normally
I mean, it's
described like a baby.
not literally a baby, but like,
Oh, you mean like a weak one?
yeah. This is a small.
Yeah.
This is a small one.
Yeah, you got bigger ones later. Hey, I said before, you fight some dangerous creatures.
And still, you decide never to heal your characters.
That's true. I like this game doesn't have a dedicated healer. Like,
Yeah.
there were just like no, just normal ass.
No
Okay,
heal
heal
abilities.
small amount of HP.
Yeah.
No, it's all like very specific skills.
Yeah.
For example, like one of my attacks that Ara has, it absorbs HP.
Yeah.
You know, aside from like skills like that, no, it's just lodging and potions. That's it.
I mean, you have over 60,000 gold, which you haven't used on like anything.
Your point?
You could buy plenty of potions.
I mean, I don't have to. But it is good that in such a very small number of party members, in both on the field and in total, I think it's good that there isn't a dedicated healer. Otherwise, I'd have that character on my party like all the time.
Yeah.
And there wouldn't be a lot of room for mixing it up.
Yeah.
Like that's the case with a lot of JRPGs. It's like
That's
unless
actually
you're really confident in your team setup. Like, why would you not have the healer on the field like all the time?
That's one of the reasons why I prefer having like, if you have a limited party size, I prefer having like 4 party members to 3, because it just gives you that much more like flexibility in how you assemble your party.
There is the JRPG I Am Setsuna,
Yeah.
which is a recent JRPG, which
Yeah.
is most like Chrono Trigger, and I think it is max party on the field is 3, and one of them you cannot switch out.
Yeah.
And however, that character is the dedicated healer, so that's it softens the blow at least a little.
That's another game that I need to get around to playing, actually, because
Me too.
I do own it.
Same with the follow up Lost Sphere.
Yeah. I don't have
like,
that yet, just because it's very expensive.
Okay. Yeah, a lot more expensive than I Am Setsuna. But they're not. Both of them aren't very high on like my priority list of things to buy, because like they aren't really as good as they can be, from what I've heard.
Well,
from what I've seen.
Yeah, the basic line is basically that like they're classic JRPGs with not quite as not quite as iconic writing as some of the classic RPGs had. So
I think it's because, well, both of these games, it's like trying to be too much like Chrono Trigger, but being not as good as it.
Yeah. But
and it's like, I think even, I don't know, even if they say it or not in this, like the store descriptions, it's like, it's so obviously trying to be like Chrono Trigger that all it really does in the end is trying to compare itself to a classic, which is a bad idea.
They were just trying to be like the 16-bit era of JRPGs in general.
Trying to emulate that style is fine, but if you're trying to emulate a specific game, then you're just, in the end, people are just going to compare your game to that classic. And that's more often than not, the classic is going to be better.
Well, I don't think that they specifically set out and were like, oh, we need to be like Chrono Trigger. I think
I don't think they specifically said that, but it's like,
I think they wanted to make a game that captured the feeling of Chrono Trigger, and then when it came out, everyone was just like, oh, this is just Chrono Trigger except worse. Because that's how the internet reacts to things.
It is, even if it's unjustified or not, it is a hard sell. Like, I haven't played Chrono Trigger. Like, would I prefer to play that over Lost Sphere? Probably.
I don't know. I'll get around to both of them someday.
Oh yeah, like it's a turn-based JRPG. Like, of course I'll get to it. Like, you don't get many of those.
Sadly.
And the only really one I'm looking forward to in the future is Octopath Traveler.
Do you even have a Switch?
And SMT5. I have a Switch. I only have one game in it. But the purchase was worth it.
Very worth it.